everyone. A friend asked us to do a video about reincarnation, and today's topic of the video is reincarnation and past lives. Now, I know that there is a lot of information out there about this subject, a lot of videos and material and books, which is why we are going to present this from our own perspective and our own inner realizations.
So let's start with, is reincarnation real or not? Well, from the tangible proof perspective, there is a lot of proof for reincarnation. There are a lot of cases in books or on the internet you can come across where people and especially children have narrated stories and incidences claiming to be their past life, and then people go on to find proof of what they were saying to be true. And even from my senior therapists, they have come across cases where their clients will have experience of a past life, and then they will research further about it, and then they will go on to find actual physical evidence of the things that they described in their experience to be true in the real world, in the outer world. So in terms of physical tangible proof, there is a lot of evidence for it to be real, although from a scientific perspective maybe it is not explainable, but there is so many proof and evidence around which can prove to you that it's real.
Yeah, it is not explainable yet, but I am sure that the science will move towards
Yeah,
that to explain a lot of things.
so let's go on to what is reincarnation.
So, what is reincarnation? Uh, it's defined as a new version of something from the past. So, if we think about ourselves, are we a new version of something from the past? Yes, we are. Like, we have, our body has developed. Since we were a child, our body is different, our way of thinking is different. So, we are a new person, but the awareness which we had when we were child and the awareness that we have at this present moment, it is the same. So it transcended the time despite the outward changes. And if we were to think about the past, it appears to be like a dream. Like, is it real or is it not? It is just there in our mind, and it is nothing which can actually prove that it was real. And there are also many things which happen to you which you do not remember. Like, we don't remember when we first started to walk, like when we learned to walk. Still, it doesn't mean that it didn't happen. So let's think about what is it that reincarnates. It is our desires, impulses, patterns, deeper impressions, and characteristics. It is the core subtle aspects that define our own individuality. So what is it that makes us to be individual? And my understanding regarding this is that individuality comes with identification. When we identify ourselves with a form or with a thought or with something, we become individual because we disconnect ourselves from the unlimited nature of our own being, and we become something defined. We become identified with something. And along with this also comes forgetfulness, because when we get identified, let's say that you watch a film, and when you watch a film, you forget who you are for some moments, and that means forgetfulness. You are just caught up with the story and you forget what you are. And it is the same with our thoughts. We get caught up with our thoughts and our identity, like I am a lawyer, I am a doctor, and we forget that actually inwardly we are just simple awareness, unbounded and eternal, not limited by time and space. Now, where is the soul that reincarnates? Many people assume that there is a soul which reincarnates, and that is logical to be so. It must be a soul that reincarnates. From my understanding, like I always used to think about such things, and I realized that actually it is not my body that has a soul, but it is my soul that has a body, which means that the body exists in the soul, which means that the core essence of what we are, which is unbounded by time or space, undefined, which is nothingness and fullness at the same time, projects itself from the very subtle to the very gross, which means from the very subtle, like unconditional love and the essence of what we are striving for, will get projected from there to a more gross and grosser level, like thoughts, and after that emotions, and after that our etheric body, and after that our material body. um, I think that's it.
So yeah, so about speaking about the individuality, it is like the impressions and characteristics and our desires and our tendencies and our like these are some core aspects that define us as individuals, which we can also call it as karma. And it is this karma which is talked about a lot, although many people don't understand what it means. This is what molds our perspective into that of an individual, although it is not in our true nature to be individual, but because of our identification with thoughts, memories, and a lot of other experiences we go through, we we feel as if we are an individual. But from the source or the perspective of the soul, there is no time and no space. That means all that ever existed or can exist, and all the infinite possibilities for anything are all existing here and now, because time and space is not real from the perspective of the source or the soul. So it is the components which define our individuality, like the desires, tendencies, etc. They are the compass which guides our consciousness to manifest the reality which we experience as what we resonate the most with. Whatever we resonate the most with, and when I say we, I mean our individuality. Whatever our individuality resonates the most with is what we manifest as our reality and our experience. So, about the past lives, from this perspective of the soul or the source, all past lives and all future lives and all any other lives, if there are, they are all existing in the here and now. And it is our individuality which guides us as to what experiences we resonate with, and that is what we call our life. We are always identified with who we think we are. That is why we say this is our life and those were my past lives, and someone else will think that some other lives were their past lives. And what this means is that it's just that these so called past lives are just some experiences which their individuality resonated with, and that's why they experience that. But on the level of the soul, they are all just experiences not belonging to any individual. They are all just infinite experiences where the soul or the source is experiencing itself in infinite facets. So as we lose our individuality, as we dissolve our individuality, as we let go of our incompletions and our desires and let go of our attachment with thoughts of who we think we are, as the bubble of our individuality expands and eventually dissolves, there is no such thing as past lives or future lives, or my past lives and your past lives, or my life and your life. At the most core level, we are all just life, not your or mine. We are all just life, and we are all one. We are all the source experiencing itself in all different facets.
Like, how do you explain the fact that there are religions who dismiss reincarnations and others who made it part of their doctrine?
Yeah. So there is a quote from Buddha which says, believe nothing, no matter where you read it or who said it, no matter if I have said it, unless it agrees with your own reason and common sense. And this is a very there is a very deep meaning behind this quote, and the reason why a lot of religions don't have such beliefs like past lives, because our main focus is to be present here and now in this life, in the now. And the more we think about past lives and other lives or future lives, we are making even more attachments, we are creating more attachment to memories and things we went through. Even in our current life, we are not able to handle our past and our
Yeah, what
memories.
about if
And what
past
about
lives
past
again?
lives? If we are going to bring back even more baggage from those lives, we are going nowhere. We are burdening ourselves even more. So that's why our focus should not be about who I was or who, like past lives or future lives, but to be present here and now. And by being here and now and present truly to this life and letting life fully express itself through us and allowing it to happen without thinking and making identifications and attachments, we will be able to let go of our limitations and truly be the essence and go and be one with the essence of who we truly are. And that should be our focus, and that's why the religions are saying there are no past lives and this is the only life. Although the heaven and hell part, I won't comment on that. I think you should ignore it as well. Yeah. Anything else?
I wanted to say from my own experience, like I was very excited to experience a past life. So when I was in a deep passive state, exploring that aspect of my consciousness, I realized that it is not big deal. Like I went through it and experienced it, but then I thought that, well, it is just a very limited thing that I experienced. Actually, I was everything because consciousness has evolved from like very primary life forms to very developed and complex life forms. So I was the queen, I was the king, I was the beggar, I was everything. And in the same sense, everybody else, it is a reflection of myself. It is a mirror of me because from the perspective of the source, there is no time. So then there is no, I found it for myself that there is no point in exploring it for the sake of exploring just but to focus on being a good human being and working on myself and being present in this moment which contains in its seed the eternity.
Yes, beautifully said. And we will end the video by just saying that we are all one in our core essence. There is no separation between you and me and other people. We are all actually just one. We don't have this life or that life. We are all life itself, expressing and manifesting in infinite shapes and forms. Thank you for
Thank
watching.
you for watching, and if you have any questions and comments, leave them down below. Thank you very much for your time, and I hope that this is of use to you. Have a wonderful day. Bye.
Bye.